with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call at 763-441-1334 and tell them Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call at 952-922-2500.
Are you a volunteer in your homeowner association? Maybe a residential property manager wanting to increase your industry knowledge and obtain professional credentials in property management. Are you a vendor or professional offering services to homeowners and associations or property managers? If you said yes to any one of those questions, then join the Community Association Institute. The CAI is a great organization, helping you be informed and more proficient in your homeowner association board member or property manager role. It's also a great way to network with potential clients. For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit cai-mn.com to learn more. That's cai-mn.com. The Minnesota chapter of CAI holds monthly managers' luncheons, board member education training, property manager certification training, and much more. It also produces a bi-monthly informative magazine called Minnesota Community Living. Why not join the Community Association Institute today? You can do so online at cai-mn.com and select membership.
We're talking about this story coming out of Queens, New York. There is a homeowners association several years now after Hurricane Sandy, still not able to get their property up to par. And part of the issue is they've had insurance, and insurance has only been able to go so far. And they sought for assistance from FEMA, and FEMA has been offering money and grants to homeowners. The rub here is that they said that according to some of the definitions in FEMA and in their policy, they do not consider a co-op, a homeowners association, townhome, condo, that it is just a residential property, but a corporation, a business, and businesses aren't going to get help with this grant money. And so some people are upset and they want to try and get things resolved. So a congressman's trying to rewrite the bill. He's not getting anywhere. I think the reason he's not getting anywhere, as I said in the last segment, is because this is an election cycle. People are busy trying to get reelected. They're trying to sell themselves to you, the American people, so that they can get back in the saddle again for another couple years. And so let's not point fingers and talk about partisan politics. The fact of the matter is, in politics here, everyone on both sides of the aisle are trying to get reelected right now. And the other aspect that I brought up was the fact that in most politics, with the lobbying efforts that I've done over the last 4 or 5 years at the state legislature, it's amazing. 80 to 90% of most issues dealt with are not partisan at all. They're not Republican and Democrat. They're not liberal and conservative. They're issues that people are trying to deal with. And people are trying to deal with them based on constituents and trying to help. What we try to do on this show is try to shed a little bit of light, trying to think of a little bit of common sense here on how to get things done. The bigger issue here with this homeowner association that didn't get all the money that they needed with their insurance is one that I don't think that we have ever stopped to take a look at or want to as a society, and that is, how far should we as a society be compelled to go to take care of things when a disaster takes place for someone? We've been told over the last few years things can be too big to fail. And then we've had other legislation where they want to help every single individual, and so people are too small to fail. Well, if nobody can fail, is that clearly our directive, that nobody can have anything bad happen to them? That is a wonderful wish. Don't get me wrong. I wish that for all of my listeners, and even people that don't like me. May you be able to. May you not see any disaster. I don't want to see that happen on anyone. But you've got to ask the question: does it follow that we must be there to take care of everything that happens when something goes wrong? Let me give you an example here, if I can, in real life. Let's say you and your spouse make a decision, and you say, you know what, sweetheart, let's stop going out to eat, going out to a movie like we do every once in a while. Let's take that money and set it aside, and let's help some people who are less fortunate than us and help them out, and who don't have enough to eat, maybe a place to live. And with that money, you can help one or two families. Now, if I heard a story of that happening with a couple, I would say, you know what? That is a very noble idea for those people to take care of. They've made a decision themselves to forego some things for the purpose of helping someone else less fortunate. I think that's wonderful. But now let's take a look. If they take that mindset and said, well, if we can help one or two people, if we can help 1,000 people, that's even better. And so now they're helping 1,000 people, but in their efforts to help 1,000 people, it's not the extra money anymore that they're dealing with. They're dealing with their home mortgage. They're dealing with their car payments. They're dealing with making good on their student loans after they've gotten done with college. And everything goes to ruin and goes to bankrupt. Are these people still noble? The only difference is that they've had the same ideal. They want to take care of people less fortunate than themselves. The difference was, in the first case, they did it with what they have. The second case, they were trying to do something with what they didn't have. And we really need to ask ourselves, as a nation, not to be, that does not mean that we are not compassionate, but do we have it to take care of everything that goes wrong? You know, the Hurricane Sandy was horrible, and a lot of people didn't lose their homes. But in property management, I've seen over the years, there have been a number of people who they didn't come out whole. Why? Because they didn't quite get what they should have been paying for in home insurance for a number of years. And now all of a sudden they came to a disaster, and guess what? It wasn't there. We've got to ask ourselves, is there going to be a guarantee that everything is going to always be taken care of for all of us? I don't know that is a realistic expectation that we can have. Do we have that same same idea in a homeowners association? People will say, well, the government needs to take care of people that are less fortunate. I would like to ask, in how many homeowners associations do you have as a conversation where homeowners are saying, well, other people in this association aren't able to make their monthly dues because of something disastrous in their life. We need to help them out. You don't hear that discussion. Why? Because at some level, we all know it makes sense. We can only do what we can do. And while I want to be the first to be compassionate with as many people as we can't continue on with a policy that is not sustainable. And part of the problems and some of the issues that we're dealing with right now is just that. We're in a mode of unsustainability that isn't going to allow us to give any kind of quality of life if we could continue on with that. Well, I hope in the case of this particular association in New York, I do think that they have a case for having someone work with them and getting some things rewritten so that people understand that co-ops and townhomes are indeed residential homes, just like any others. And I think we can get that accomplished, and I think that would be appropriate. But the bigger question, that's something I think we're going to have to take a look at. And that's something that we're all going to have to ask as Americans. Well, let's take a break right now. Don't go away. We've got a lot more of Where You Live, but after these messages.